Hello, all you hardcores. We're joined by Andy, and he's not from Aberdeen. How you doing,
Aberdeen
Andy?
Andy from Perth.
We're joined by Aberdeen Andy from Perth. You know, Andy, you know, lad. What's going on?
I'm just chilling out, listening to a bit of Chris Farlow. You like Chris Farlow?
Who's he?
Singer.
Oh, yeah.
Way back from the site. I believe he was actually an amateur boxer at one time, Chris Farlow. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Brilliant voice, eh? I like guys with good voices. Or women. I just like good vocalists, eh? So,
Yeah,
uh,
it's interesting. Right. What have you been up to, Andy?
oh, eating lots of food today and yesterday working on cars and doing family stuff. So working on cars till 11 o'clock last night.
Oh, yeah?
Aye,
You love it, Andy, don't you?
well, I've just got to go on with it. I don't want to pay somebody else to do something I can do myself. So
It's pretty easy,
uh,
though, messing with cars with what you do for a living, in it, really. It's pretty simple stuff, in it.
sorry, it's a nice hobby.
Oh, mate, it's pretty simple. You see, me, I'm an egger, me. If I start messing about with car engines and it don't go well, I just get a big 16-pound lump hammer out and I smash my way straight through engine. But then I just ring insurance up and make a claim.
Somebody smashed my engine up.
Somebody's just smashed my engine up. What it? Some lunatic with green hair drove off. Uh, right. Let's get down to nitty gritty.
Yep.
It's come to my attention that Colin Hart, he wears a wig from Maury's. How has he still got a role in boxing, Colin Hart? Because he's got his head that far up Bricktop's arsehole. He's eating his pie and mash for him.
He's on a second-hand sweet corn. This is
Hey,
popcorn now.
what is
I
good?
heard he's I heard he's going to Morris for a new wig. Is that right?
Maury's, yeah, listen. Colin Hart should have traded that wig in years ago. Colin, come see me. Uh,
He's
Canelo,
89 years old, him, isn't he?
hey?
89. He's 89 years of age, him, I read somewhere. He's been
Yeah,
about forever.
he's looking well. Listen, he's looking well for 89, old Colin Hart, isn't he?
Oh,
Women love him, men want to be him. You know what he's known as to the women in the East End of London? Big Colin.
big, big call.
Big Col. Right, Canelo, did you see it, Mungia?
I've only seen some highlights. I wasn't going to get up through the night. I think it's maybe just come a wee bit too early for Mangia, is it?
Do you know what? I always bet with me, with who I want to win instead of really who I know is going to win. I always try and bend it with bookies. Oh, that looks attractive odds, but in my
Ah,
heart, I had
yeah.
Canelo to win on points, which he did. But sorry, in my head, I had him to win on points, but in my heart, I wanted Munguia to win because I don't like Canelo. He's been a drug cheat, and do you remember when he invented that weight division at 155, and they all went along with it, didn't they? I didn't like that, dragging 160 kids down to 155 because he were a 154. So he's going a pound above just so it's a middleweight. I couldn't get my head around that, could you?
Nah, he's had it all his own way, eh?
He's had it
He's
all his own
everything.
way. That's exactly it, like
Ah,
Anthony Joshua and the rest of them.
yeah. It's not right, is it? It's everyone's in his favour. It's all biased towards him. It's a bit like Klitschko's. They had it their own way for long enough, eh?
Had it the wrong way. You having a laugh? That's an understatement of the year, isn't it?
You know what I mean? Eh? It's all wrong, eh? Mayweather did a bit of that as well, didn't he? Picking and choosing, and
Yeah.
then the sanctioning bodies are playing their tune, aren't they? On their fiddle, so playing along their tune. So
According to TikTok, Floyd Mayweather's still in a Dubai jail, in it? Dubai jail.
is
Obviously,
it?
one of his mates nicked some jewelry, and they're holding him responsible, aren't they?
I didn't know that.
In Dubai, that's what it says online. I don't know if it's true. I have to go read it.
Hmm. All right. Oh wow.
They held David A. A few years ago for bouncing a check out there.
Aye.
Yeah, he bought a villa and check bounce. When he went back, they held him. Yeah, they don't mess about over there, mate.
No, you've got to be a good boy out there. Eh?
Could you imagine me over there with my mouth? I'd be walking around like flipping one with one arm.
Swimming around in circles in the Parliament pool. How's your swimming going? Did you say you were doing swimming?
Yeah, well, I was doing swimming and that until I got banned from Maltby Baths for arguing about the queue, going in there. So I'm banned from there. And Ellaby Hall, there's no lockers. Ellaby Hall Hotel, there's no lockers in there. They're ripping them all out, putting new ones in there. So it's on hold, the swimming career. But there's somebody out there who thinks they can beat me.
You've no hung your man Kinney up yet then.
No, I've got no. You know better. Not yet, but listen, it's I was talking to Joe G. I went to Joe G's on Friday. I was there about 5 hours filming on Friday. That's good. That'll be out in about a week. But and we were talking about swimming, and he was telling me I think he said Jose Burton and Callum Smith. I'm sure he said Jose Burton and Callum were they can go from one length to other really fast and not make a ripple in water. And he was saying to me, Quig and Crawler. Quiggy, I'm not taking piss out your ear, Quiggy, because I like Quiggy. He's all right. He says they were putting loads of effort, really, really going for it, and bit like me, and splashing all over and that. And so I think it's an hard sport because swimmers, proper swimmers, they know how to get through water, don't they? And not make any ripples. Have you ever seen a proper swimmer swim?
Nah, I know a guy who's
Like poetry in motion. Well, when I dive in, I'm all over the place, aren't I? Me. I just
I mean,
like
I did.
bomb people. Those cartoons that they have on wall. They have cartoons on wall. This instructor years ago, he says, "Come here, you." He says, "That is you." I goes, "What?" He goes, "That's you." And they've got this cartoon bloke tearing down side of the pool and really running and then jumping in and bombing people. He goes, "That's you anymore in your band." He goes, "'Cause this is what happens when you do that. People fall, break their legs or fall on people and that." And I were like bit crashy bangy, what they call it in Birmingham. But I just terrorised the old swimming baths. But yeah, I think it's a good sport, swimming. It's obviously good for cardio, isn't it? But and you get to stretch all your body, don't you? Working muscles you didn't think you would use. But I
I mean,
think it's
I'm not a great swimmer, but I do lengths under the water, so I'm not actually making any ripples either.
yeah. I'm
But
probably better at with weight training and running, but running is knacking my knees up, mate. Do you know what I
uh,
mean? My joints and that. Day after I'm like, oh. So I can't do it every day. I'm having to walk dogs a bit further next day, and then next day I can't do it every single day. So I'm gonna be swimming on Tuesday this week somewhere else, but yeah, I'm hoping to get better at it. Just get the lengths in, like, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But we'll see.
I think
We'll,
my technique's improved a bit just over time. You maybe just start concentrating more on your technique, and it is getting. I feel I'm getting a bit better at it, but
do you know where
I
I
enjoy it.
where I suffer, Andy? I don't like. Well, when you go like front crawl and you do a few strokes, they lift their head up to the side, don't they, to get a breather? I can't fucking seem to manage it. And when you're going
Uh,
underwater, I don't like my head underwater. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. And
yeah,
I don't like it in deep end. When somebody's trying to show you something in deep end, you can't even touch what floor. I'm like, can it show me in shallow end? So, we all think we can swim, don't we? Because obviously you've seen that turkey. Went Turkey? Yeah, Turkey. Well, we had a boat and went out to sea and I dived off and all that nonsense. Well, it's all
uh,
right doing that and that, but try and swim against somebody who's proper swimmer. You ain't got a chance, have you really?
it just
We'll see.
becomes frustrating.
We'll see where we end up. But I'm going to be putting a few extra sessions in just to get my time down. Because I'm pretty competitive, don't you, Andy? But it's not like picking a pole cue up for me, is it? Going up against a proper swimmer.
No,
You know what I mean? But hey ho. Canelo won on points. He dropped him in fourth. listen, if Mungia had have dropped Canelo in fourth and it went to points, and we're never going to get nod, were we? The
No.
scorecards were absolutely shocking. I thought it were closer than what the scorecards had it, but look, the right man won. Canelo won, but is he going to fight
Yeah.
Benavidez now and actually fight somebody, and test himself, or we're just going to get these sort of fights? What do you think?
I think he needs to. And if Turkey Al Sheikh, Triple T, if he throws him enough money, why is he not going to take it? If it's a big enough lump of money, he's sure he'd take it. You would hope.
You think?
But then was he not talking about like 250 million or something? Was there no crazy
200
numbers?
million, he said he wants to fight Benavidez. There's fucking numbers out at Sky. I mean,
Mental,
look at Fat Naz. He's on about fighting Jake Paul, isn't he? Naz, you're a little quick for a fat man. I don't like you. There you go. And Dennis put it on you a few years ago and you filled your nappy. Listen, Dennis could have pushed the button and had him done in it. Let me tell you. Him and Dennis don't get on, Naz and Dennis.
Right.
Well, there's a clash in it, Sheffield. But listen, Naz, you got run out of Sheffield, mate. You can't come back, so piss off. I don't like him, me, Nazzy Mohammed. I never liked him. He was a bully when he were up there years ago. He was a bully in mate for that gym. And have you seen him now? He's hanging out the back of that Turkey Al Sheikh, isn't he?
Nah.
He's hanging out the back of him. I don't like him, mate. Fat mess he is. I hope he ends up getting fatter and fatter. He's fatter than I was. At least I could take mine down. I'm 11 stone today, me, not 20, nearly 29.
Nah.
So 28.8 actually, but listen, mate, I don't like him, mate. So, and you know what I'm like if I don't like somebody, there's no down for you. Sniffing around boxing, saying 20, 30 million to fight Jake Paul. What is all that about? That's taking money off of fighters, right? They want to progress in the sport. Kids have gone through an amateur system. So why are these coming into the sport pinching millions? Like Gordon Ramsay's on about having a fight now, isn't it? It's just a mess, isn't it?
When you look at it, he could be taking money out his own son's pocket. Now his own son's an upcoming fighter, so
Yeah, maybe.
stealing off his kids.
You what?
Stealing off his own kids. That's not very good, is it?
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? But I don't even rate his son. Did you see that waste man that they put his son in with on his debut? What were all that about?
He looked like a wee boy, didn't he?
Hey, what
Terrible.
all that about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Hey,
shocking, eh?
don't
Now
think-
Bricktop signed him up, didn't he?
Hey,
Bricktop signed him up apparently, isn't he?
Bricktop's signing everybody up now, isn't he?
I was thinking, remember we were talking last time about Chantel Cameron. Do you think that's a setup? Leaving Matchroom and then going to Bricktop so she can take part in the next 5 versus 5? Because Bricktop didn't really have any women boxers, did
Signed a Bricktop.
Bricktop signed her, I believe, yeah.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? This is how I look at it. Probably, because they're going to juggle them about and they've got to throw women's boxing a bone, aren't they? Because let's have it right, they're not keen on it, but I don't know if they're going to put it out there. I mean, when we look at women's boxing, Andy, right? Lauren Price has boxed 80 minutes as a pro. That's 42 rounds. And if you had with knockouts, it's about 80 minutes altogether added up. She's in a world title, double world title fight in a 7th fight. The talent pool's not there. It's pish. Utter
Yeah.
pish. Do you know what I mean? There's not enough women boxers out there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
That's
I don't know
it.
what you think.
Yeah, I can agree with you there because I'm not against women boxing. If they want to box, that's fair enough. But you're right, the talent pool's shallow, isn't it? There's just not enough people doing it, is there? So there's nothing they can do. It's not their fault. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Listen, I can explain it here. This Vegas thing, right? It's been going on for years. We all know what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas, so they say. But I'm still cheesed off with them judges' scorecards because if Munguia had dropped Canelo in 11th and 12th, he was still not going to win, was he?
Yeah, it's bad, eh? It's bad. It's not getting any better. I think these. I mean, who assesses these judges? Who says a judge is fit to judge? And do they get? Is there any disciplinary process for when they do have a bad day at the office? If you could, that's been polite to them, innit? If they're incompetent, what training do they get? Or do they get struck off from being a judge? Because that's really what needs to happen. Or are they struggling to get judges, and that's what we're stuck with? I don't know. What do you
Well,
think?
Tim Cheatham had it by 7 rounds. Dave Sutherland had it by 5. Steve Wisefield had it by 3 rounds. Now, Cheatham, right, he's done 615 bouts, yeah?
Yeah,
Right? 615 bouts he's done. And then we've got the other one, Dave Sutherland. He's done, let's have a look. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Oh, we've got 901 bouts. And then we've got this other one. Let's have a look at him. Steve Wisefield. I think he's experienced out at 3 of them. 2,730. Oh, Jesus. Right. So when you look at it, right, they are miles out from each other. They've all got, they're all sat there judging at ringside, and all the scorecards are totally different. But like I said, if Munguia had put it on in them last 2 rounds and dropped Canelo, he still wasn't going to get a decision. Take the knockout out, Canelo still won. The right man won, but the judging's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. If you go through the cards, like I said, if he'd have come on strong at 11th and 12th, he still wouldn't have got it. So, what is the answer? Do we have them sat up on high chairs? Do we have them in booths with no sound so they can just see the fight, so there's no influence from the commentators? Do you know what I mean? Because half of these commentators are hanging out the back of these promoters. Isn't that right, Beanie? You know what I mean?
it's like when Martin Bacoli went and fought Tony Yoka in France, and he smashed him, battered him about for the whole bout, and he only just won it. He only just got it on points and no more. And it's like, what was that all about? And then you've got Big Meech getting well, the judges tried to do Usyk on the cards and on the second fight, didn't they?
Yeah,
And some people say, oh, it was a close fight because just creates a narrative for that nonsense. Eh?
it does,
It
doesn't it?
wasn't a close fight. That's shocking, eh?
It does. It's not good, mate, is it? It's absolute pony macaroni.
Yeah.
That's
Then you've
not
got Nick Ball.
good,
Nick,
mate.
I think we spoke about Nick Ball last week. He should be a world champion now, so he should be making a defence and making a lot more money than he's going to make for his next challenge, isn't he?
Nick
So he's
Ball, Nick Ball got
taking,
shafted big time, didn't he? So did it's Big Freeze.
yeah.
Big Freeze got shafted with that British and Commonwealth against Wardley. White collar Wardley. Big Freeze should be sat here now, undefeated, British and Commonwealth champ, and a world ranked and ready to go to Saudi. Big Freeze.
Yeah. So they're taking money out of people's pockets. They're taking money out of fighters' pockets.
They are, mate. They are. Beat a Beeve and Bibble, it's off. Beat a Beeve's injured. What do you reckon for that, Andy?
Disappointing there. I was wanting to see that. That's a knee injury he's got, I believe, is it?
Listen, mate, he's knocking on a bit now. Is he pushing 40 him now?
I think he is. He's 39 anyway, I think, isn't he?
He needs to hang it up in Beat a Beeve. He needs to move on.
But he still looks good in his last fight, didn't he? But
Yeah, yeah. Who you got in that fight? Beat a Beeve or Bibble?
Beater beef.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Probably a late stoppage.
Late stoppage, yeah, maybe. Tony the Bell End, 6th of September this year, 165 quid a ticket. Pie and peas, a raffle at Kingscroft Hotel. Q&A, meet and greet, the full works with Tony Macaroni. Tony, not for me, lad, 165 quid. I got greedy. What do you think?
That's a lot of cash, eh?
Hey?
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
165 quid to sit. 165 quid to hear Tony Bellew going on about utter nonsense, right? The man that never took a belt off a champion in his whole career, amateur and professional. Never took a belt off a champion. Isn't that right, Tony? But you're charging 165 quid to sell us a load of pony.
I maybe phone them up and say, whose pies are they?
Pie and peas. Oh my God, with liquor.
Where's the pies from, eh? I'll maybe go if it's good pies, eh?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bricktop going in on Barry McGuigan, saying that if Carl Frampton had been with a better family, he wouldn't have been spent half his career in court. Strong words from Bricktop. He goes after Cobra all the time, though, doesn't he?
Anybody strays away from Bricktop's narrative or says anything about him, he's on them, isn't he? He's like it's like a terrier.
Yeah, he's like a Jack Russell, isn't he? What can you?
He's, he doesn't like it, does he?
Andy, what can I ask you, Andy? What did you think about Bricktop holding hands with Triple T?
It wouldn't be me anyway.
What were all that about? Eddie Hills and the Gad, they're going in on Ryan Garcia, but they're saying nothing about Crusher.
Aye. Two of a kind, eh? It's all right for him to do it, but anybody else does it.
I know.
I'm not really. I'm a shocked. I'm kind of past the point of being shocked about any of that kind of stuff going on now. Eh? It's happened that frequently in recent times, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's not really a big shock nowadays. It's maybe a shock, but it's not an earth tremble, is it? It's seems to be happening, eh? So it needs bashed out the way. It needs to stop all this. I mean, there's probably fights where people aren't getting tested. What are they saying? It costs 30 grand to carry out tests or something.
Cost what?
Does it cost 30,000 to carry out tests for championship fights? So what about all the other fights that's going on that's maybe no people getting tested?
When I were at Dennis's, right, it were £1,000 invoice for testing. I'm not sure if it were VADA or USADA. I think it'd been VADA. The British one. Is that UCAD?
UCAD.
Yeah. That would
Is that per fighter? Or that per fight or per fighter?
That was just for Liam Cameron's fight against Gemman. That was only one I ever seen testing one. I know there were another one for Sheedy fight, but I didn't see invoice for that. But that one were a bag of sand.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they charge Eddie and them. I don't know. But that were a bag of sand. If you've got 6 fights on night, you're £6 grand, aren't you? They're not going to charge top whack, are they? If it's just a low level, small old show, though, are they?
No.
But it depends what sort of testing. It only one lot of testing after the fight. Me personally, I believe that fighters should just be tested after the fight. But if they fail after the fight, I believe they should be sued for damage they've done to that guy.
Yeah.
Garcia, if he's guilty, needs putting in court by Haney. That's my opinion on it. Because he's been touched up by a drug cheat, hasn't he?
That's it. I mean, there needs to be some. There's a word I can never remember. Consequences. There needs to be consequences, and there needs to be big consequences for people that's going to fail a test. Like you say, if they're tested after the fight and they've beat that guy up, badly, there's got to be, and they've turned out to be a fail a drug test. There's got to be big consequences. Hey, you should really be talking a threat of jail if somebody's been badly damaged. Like it could be end their career, couldn't it? So there needs to be serious consequences, and that fear should be enough to stop people doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If it's proved to be intentional that they've taken it, no way of taking some nasal spray they didn't know. It needs to be investigated properly, and it needs to be set out standardized procedures for what happens. But if it's somebody's intentionally taken it, going into a big fight and absolutely smash somebody up and damage them, there needs to be consequences. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Let's have a look here. We spoke about I spoke up with Jerry about Paulie Malignaggi. Any time anybody fails a dope test, Paulie Malignaggi goes after him like you've never seen before in your life. The man is relentless. What do you think to that?
I quite like him as a pundit because he's quite animated and he's a kind of colourful character, isn't he? So he kind of talks like a gangster out of an American Italian film, doesn't he? So I quite like him.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see, aren't we? We're gonna see, but I think they need setting about. But look, whatever happened to strict liability in the rules, strict liability is if you fail a dope test, you've got to explain where it's come from. If you can't, you're done. So why do we have them all hiding behind these lawyers?
Hmm.
I said to Jerry earlier, we were saying what's the answer, but I said, listen, rapists don't admit the rapist, do they? Have you ever known a rapist say, "Oh, I'm guilty"? No.
No, I've heard that. I don't know any rapists.
It's because of the shame. It's because of. I would assume it's because of the shame involved, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, performance enhancing drugs in the sport amongst your peers, you're classed as a scumbag, aren't you? If you admit it, you are an absolute scumbag. That's what people say. The scumbag. So nobody admits it. They all blame contaminated this and I ain't had out. I've been spiked. It's a conspiracy. My brother's spiked me. Blah de blah. I've had too many scrambled eggs. It's go on and on and on and on. It's utter rhubarb that they spout because it's a bad stigma, isn't it? It's like a murder. Every murderer I've met in jail, they didn't do it, you know. So you what? You're caked in blood, mate. You were found with their head in an oven in your fucking oven. All the meaniest crimes that we see, that we
Yeah.
prison inmates get to know about serious crimes in jail because they read people's depositions. They don't put half of these heinous crimes, you know, in newspapers because the public can be like, "Oh my God, what is out there?" Because there's some every now and then one will slip through net, you know, like Dennis Nielsen who had bodies under grates in his or Fred West, who had them all spread around walls, didn't he? And that.
Aye.
Well, Sutcliffe, every now and then one will slip through, but there's loads like that in Nick, you know. They're
Aye.
all in Wakefield HMP. It's called Monster Mansion. It's not called that for note, you know, but they're not going to let people know. And it's a bit
Yeah.
like that, isn't it, really, with drug testing? Nobody's going to admit it. They're going to treat it like they murdered somebody, aren't they? Oh, it won't me, never did it. Because it's a bad stigma amongst your peers, isn't it? Just like being a rapist is. So what's the answer, Andy?
Um. Well, I think, well, like I say, there needs to be consequences, eh? There, and the board need to toughen up on this, eh? There's no point in like being tough on one guy because he's had a trace of cocaine and getting him 4 years, and then the other guys are pussyfooting about and it's dragging on and on. The can gets kicked down the road. There's threats of solicitors and big dossiers with however many words in it, try to justify whatever they're trying to justify. It's a shambles. Eh? It needs to be, and it needs to be dealt with quick. This dragging on, Ken, it's hopeless. Eh? It's bad for boxing as a whole. You know, it's just a stain, smelly stain on the sport that we all love. Eh? So, it needs stamped out big time.
Yeah, it needs some sorting, doesn't it, mate? It needs some. I want to see life bans me because I
Mhm.
think everybody would be a little bit more careful, wouldn't they, about
Oh, aye, yeah,
who they have around them and blah blah blah. I mean, I've given Flex some stick over years because he's had free fail on his watch, but when you think about it, really, he can't be responsible for what they're doing outside of boxing, can he, fighters?
no, kind
So
of not.
that could be his get out. But when you look at Flex, big bodybuilder bloke, right? He's not a picture of health, is he? For performance enhancing drugs, is he? It's a bit like me going to. It's a bit like me sitting and doing a Narcotics Anonymous chat, in it, you know, like a workshop chat thing, and saying, "Hello, my name's Russ, and I'm a ex drug addict." And I'm going to take today's class, and then just sniffing gear on the side at table and that in front of everybody. Or me, or not sniffing gear, me turning up as, and I've never been an alcoholic, but let's say, for instance, if George Best were here, George Best turning up and taking Alcoholics Anonymous while swigging from a can. It wouldn't look good, would it? And that's like Flex, isn't it? He's
No.
walking around chewing on a stick of rhubarb in a size 38 chest t-shirt, and he's a 58. Do you know what I mean? You say,
But
what's
Johnny Bravo,
on about performance enhancing drugs for the geezer's a big juice head? Do you know what I mean? It's not a picture of elf at all, like, is it? But I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Flex, come see me. We know you're a fucking bag of wind. Hey, go get it on with Killer Khan. He's itching to knock you out, Flexi. Garcia's saying it's an inside job though, but that's a last resort. Now, Crusher Ben's played every card now except that one, hasn't he? But Garcia, he's away with fairies, isn't he, at the moment? I mean, did you see how off his rocker he was at weigh-in? You're telling me he's not on some at him?
now that's it. You've got the erratic behaviour up to the fight, then you've got the madness at the weigh-in, then you've got coming in overweight, and then so it's not actually going to be too big a surprise if there's anything else going on, you know. So you just don't know, eh?
Yeah, it's craziness, absolute craziness. Right, Ben Shalom, aka Adrian Mowell. He's been at Sky now for a year. What is going on there? It's a total mess, isn't it? He's actually off. He's not delivered, has he? Come on, let's have it right.
No, I had high hopes for him at the start, right? It
I
seems to
did.
be all fighters, and then it's just kind of, it's like a damp squid, isn't it? It's just damp squib. It's just kind of petered out, isn't it?
You know, it reminds me of, when I flew out to Algorfa with Gary, and we were going around restaurants and that in Algorfa village, and you see pictures on these Spanish restaurants of Spanish food, paella and stuff like that. Do you know when you look at it, it doesn't look a picture of health, it looks just like a turd in the middle of some rice, doesn't it? It reminds me of that, mate. Honestly, it's that bad, but Yard Boatsi, Ben Shalom, aka Adrian the Mole, he's come out and he said, Yard Boatsi's not made. Well, is he telling us, we don't know? Because what has he made him so far? Brooke Khan, which were a dog with fleas, wasn't it? What else has he made?
Been it. Was it him that did Big Freeze and
Big Freeze and Wardley, but that's
Wardley?
about it, isn't it?
That's it, he's no regularly turning out big fights, is he? That's 2 and 3 years, or there may be a couple of others I can't think about, but I can't remember it at the moment. But I don't think there is. There's nothing springs to mind about any super shows he's put on.
Super shows.
I see Mystic Johnny said he's heard word for inside Usyk's camp that he's Usyk's manhandling all his sparring partners. Eh?
Yeah, well, he's just saying that because he's trying to put wind up Fury, really, because they're had a fallout, aren't they?
That's something I've been thinking about this week. I know Fury's bigger. He's bigger than Usyk. It doesn't mean he's necessarily stronger than him, you know.
Yeah. Do you know what Tyson Fury calls Johnny Horsecock Nelson? Donkey Kong. Now, I wasn't going to say this because Immortal is going to be mad, but I'm not going to say his name. Listen to this one, right? Apparently, and this is true, he was going through airport or something, and they crossed paths, but they were on the other side of the thing. And Tyson apparently said to somebody, "I don't give an F what Donkey Kong has got to say about me." Because he couldn't box eggs. That's what he said about Johnny Horsecock. He calls him Donkey Kong. He says, "Do I look like I give an F about what Donkey Kong's got to say about me?" The King of the Wish says, "No, it's Johnny Horsecock now." And he goes, "Well, whatever. I don't give a shit what he says." He's a costume.
Donkey Kong.
But,
Huh.
but it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I seen that interview with Dev Sandwich and
Pep
Tyson.
sandwich, what's it? He's had his operation now. I need to pull his head out of Bricktop's arsehole.
He couldn't. He had to. He had to make room for the guard, didn't he? Had to come out.
The Gad.
Um,
Oh my God. The Gad. The Gad's working with Robert Reed now on BKB. He's muscling in on that now. Hey?
he's some boy, the guard, eh? Jeez.
£1,000 a night, that, you know.
Nah.
£1,000. £1,000 a night. But what they've done, they've paid the Gad on there because he's got a bit of a following now, hasn't he? And he's going to big it up, and they're trying to break into mainstream with BKB. So what they're doing, they're using the Gad to get into the mix, which you can understand. Because at one point they were giving Joe Egan £100 just to turn up and make an appearance, and in the end, hey, listen, Joe, I hope you're listening, you shithouse. I put the blockers on that, trying to get fees and that for turning up. They've dropped him like a stone, haven't they, Joe? That's what happens, Joe, when you chat knackers on social media. Oh, yeah, I spied Mike Tyson, yeah. Cuss, Mike and I in the Catskills eating meatloaf prepared by Camille. What a load of shit. What a load of knackers. Fucking Ori.
Was it the BKB? You said he's walking about the ring shouting, "I'm back, I'm back."
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, that was Big Joe. He got it ringing. And people are like, back from what? Where have you ever been? Back from what? Taxi rank or bus station? You know what I mean?
Chip shop.
Devin Haney's getting it changed to a no contest if Garcia's found guilty. But do you think Garcia's got a case here for suing him if he's been knocked about? I do you?
I think so. You mean Haney's got a case for suing him, huh? Yeah.
Well, do you think we be in America they'll be suing going on behind the scenes?
Probably it's a kind of sue culture out there, isn't it? So it'll be $100 million. It's always big numbers, isn't it?
Always what?
Big numbers.
I seen that guy who was suing for 100 million because he spilt some McDonald's on his thigh and it was scalding hot and it shouldn't have been at that temperature and he had all these temperature burns. And he ended up with millions, this guy. But he didn't get out whatever he wanted, but they always start off with an high number, don't they? For trauma and this and that. Everybody sues every. That one on that bus in Atlanta where somebody got on it and farted on a bus. And then we're bragging about it. They got him on camera bragging and they sued him and all that. I mean, what is all that about?
He should have been grateful getting a hot McDonald's. I've never had a hot one. They're always kind of lukewarm.
What, the coffee?
No, the
Oh,
food.
the food's always cold. The food's like prison food, mate. That's why you have to eat prison food fast.
Ah.
Uh,
Want to go into part two? Is it running out?
Yeah, go on, then we'll go on to part two. Don't forget to join us on part two. You should be a host, Andy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Pop, pop, bang. Big John Fury. Well, the Big John Fury, MI5 are watching me from the moon. Pop, bang.